We have a contender for the best value, best tasting single pot still Irish whiskey on the market. Let's drink some whiskey. Welcome to Whiskey and Whiskey. I'm the Whiskey Chaser Brian. It's been a while. I hope you're good. Happy New Year to all those out there, and a big shout out to Carly and Casey who hooked me up a while back with this awesome hat. I'm only getting a chance to wear it because we're actually only starting to put more videos out for the first time in 2024 officially. Today we've got the newest whiskey from the Busker, which is a brand from the Royal Oak Distillery in County Carlow, literally 20 minutes up the road. This is the new small batch single pot still Irish whiskey finished in Oloroso sherry casks and coming in at a very respectable 46.3% ABV. This is a non-age statement whiskey with no reference to any finishing times on the label. I haven't gotten any info on it on the brand really in terms of that, but double aged in bourbon and Oloroso sherry barrels. Now, flying very low on the radar currently. Haven't seen much about this online or on any review channels yet for that matter. I did receive this bottle for this review free of charge from Barry and Fitzwilliams back in actually December. And as you can see here, I've had some time with this. Quite a bit of time actually. First off, it's currently available in Ireland and there was a soft launch back in December and a much bigger launch was meant to be coming in March, which is what I was told. It's been received extremely well in other markets like Japan, which I believe is one of the Busker's biggest markets, and Canada, and even in the UK. Now, I have been patiently waiting for the official launch to do this video, but you know, why not do it now? It is a triple distilled single pot still Irish whiskey which uses both malted and unmalted barley in its mash bill. Not sure of the quantities, but a great value product coming in around the 50 to 55 euro mark. For reference, this is bottle number 11,473, so small batch apparently. This is the Busker's first exclusive limited bottling coming out of the Royal Oak Distillery. Their core range has won a number of awards and I reviewed them when they first came out back in 2020 or 2021 I think. Their single malt and pot still being a favorite of mine, but what we are seeing here is a real flavor powerhouse and just crazy value. Now, funnily enough, the Busker at home here in Ireland, I find can be really hit or miss with Irish whiskey fans. Some saying they aren't mad about the name, the Busker, or their traditional packaging they didn't like. Now, they have completely revamped the brand and the bottles, and we see this here with their first exclusive bottling. It's an embossed bottle. There's better looking, more premium label. It's just a better overall look, I think, and feel to the brand itself. Now me, I'm very fortunate. I have had a chance to try a few whiskeys from the Busker that aren't released. I tried some whiskey when I was invited to their distillery open day a good while back. I tried some exclusive samples they had at Whiskey Live when I met their global brand ambassador, Woody Kane, last year. And everything I tried was absolutely exceptional. And that is no joke. So as you can see from the bottle, I've tried this a good bit and I have a few thoughts on it. But first, let's get it into the glass and I'll give you some tasting notes. And we pour, yes, not too much, that should do. So then once again, this is a triple distilled, single pot still Irish whiskey finished in bourbon and Oloroso, or non-age statement, 46.3% ABV, which for me is kind of the minimum strength I like to see whiskeys coming in at. And that does change sometimes depending on the whiskey itself and the spice itself, but I just like that 46% ABV as a starting point. So I've given this a little bit of an opportunity to open up and breathe a small bit, and on the nose, oh, it's really nice. Dried fruits forward, typical of Oloroso sherried whiskeys. There's a nice cinnamon spice there. It's not overly punchy in terms of spice. Brazil nut straight away, and a Royal Oak trademark. For me, going back to the last single pot still whiskey I had from them, some pine note, kind of pine straw freshness in there. And once you go back to it, then the slightest hint of alcohol note at the very end there in terms of just youthfulness, just very, very slight. But very dried fruits forward, that Brazil nut in there, the pine freshness, and just a touch, very slight alcoholish at the end. All right, so on the palate, let's launch it. Nice mouthfeel, medium kind of creaminess to it. Brazil nut coming straight through for me there. The dried fruits from the Oloroso sherry, So like your figs, your sultanas, your a little bit of raisin, not overly raisin though, but yeah, it's quite drying and puckery. Feel it on the tongue and the side of the cheeks. You're getting tobacco notes there. I'm gonna have another little sup because it's starting to kind of wind down, getting into the finish. Let's launch it. Touch nutty, touch spicy, but nothing wild. It's dampened a bit, but still lingers there. So your tobacco, creamy, Brazil nut, figs. No real alcohol, but that spice is just ever so slightly there, hanging on. Not overly spicy, not killing your palate. Definitely a bit of chocolate vibes there. So as we start to kind of get into the finish, as I said, it's not overly spicy. Tobacco there, definitely lingering on the side of the palate. Dried fruits are fading and showing some of that lovely spirit now that Royal Oak does. Royal Oak does great whiskeys. I don't care what anybody says. I am a believer in their product, and I do like what they brought out so far and the stuff that I've tasted in behind the scenes. Thankfully, I get to do that. Again, finishing off, a little bit of nuttiness, just very touch waxy, dry, medium, and kind of a light to medium complexity is what I would say on that. So overall, zang. So my opinion, where do I stand on this? I actually really like it, if you couldn't tell from my tasting notes. It does exactly what it says on the tin, creamy mouthfeel, not overly raisiny or prune-like. It's a touch drying, lacking a touch of pot still spice, but I can see the market they're aiming at for this. Truly and honestly a great value product, no doubt, and one in which I would highly recommend you try, and even I would go as far to say pick up a bottle for yourself. You can't go wrong at that price point, in the 50 or the 55 euro mark. However, there are two distinct whiskey drinkers that come to mind when I drink this. Firstly, those that like sherry whiskeys will enjoy this. I think it does lack a touch of that pot still spice that some in Ireland have come to know and love, but single pot still whiskey is unique to Ireland. It's what sets us apart. It's what our history with whiskey was rooted in. It put us on the map for centuries, and I think some drinkers at home here will miss some of that punchy spice that pot still whiskey delivers. However, that's my second however. Outside of Ireland, few know of what characteristics pot still Irish whiskey hold. Not everyone likes a real spicy, punchy, burny whiskey, and I think this ticks those boxes also. So I can kind of see the for in this, and I can also see the against in this. It's not going to suit all palates or preferences, but what it lacks in spice, I think it makes up for in flavor and mouthfeel, and definitely a treat on the nose. So take that as you will. I recommend trying. I am 100% gonna buy a bottle of this for sure when this is gone. Certainly an everyday shelf drinker for me, and a huge shout out once again to Barry and Fitzwilliams for supplying this bottle of whiskey to me free of charge, just for the hell of it. And they don't get any input into these videos. They don't get to see them before I put them out. So just so everyone knows that. Now keep an eye on my socials, and I will update when the official launch in Ireland has taken place. Keep your eyes peeled. And if you have tried this, do let me know your thoughts on it in the comment section below. I'm interested to hear what everyone else thinks. And until next time, keep it neat. Let's launch it.